Hey y'all, welcome back to another ToNaturAli Talks. So today we're going to be discussing tips for moving away from home. And I know there's probably many of you who are transitioning to another stage in life, whether it be going off to college or starting a new job, career, or moving someplace far from family, chasing your dreams. I mean, it could be anything. So these are just a couple of tips from me and things that I've learned along the way from being away from family and moving and transitioning and adjusting. So hopefully these tips help you all out, and if any of y'all have experienced moving away from family, friends, and just adulting, or maybe not even adulting, just like being on your own, then echo down below. That way others can read and learn a little something something. So I do have notes, so if I do look down periodically and that bothers you, I apologize, but I just want to make sure that I am getting my point across, and I don't want this to be too long-winded. So hopefully I get to the point, and hopefully y'all can learn something. There is this site called meetup.com, and it's a good site for those that want to meet other people in the area that they're moving to, or if they want to get involved in whatever is going on. And it gives you like an opportunity to meet other people and maybe even find someone that has the same likes and interests as you. The site is basically based on your interests, and you can sign up for whatever group or whichever to meet up with people. There are some groups that is pretty much free, but then there's others that requires like a fee or something just to help pay like the group admin or something like that. Like there's some that require that. I can say that I have like been on that site and I'll look at stuff and I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't mind going here, but then I never followed through with it. But there was one meetup group that I was in. It was a photography meetup group, because I'm into photography, and so I've met up with them once. I think it was like once or twice, but I know that one time that we went, it was like a fall trip, and we went and took pictures of like the fall colors, and it was like a 2.5-hour trip, I think. And yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from the photographers, and it was really cool. You can also create your own meetup as well if you're interested. But yeah, the site just has different categories ranging from music to photography to tech to outdoors and adventure, sports and fitness, pets, dance, book clubs, arts, hobbies, crafts, fashion and beauty. Like there's so many different categories that you can choose from and just find what is going on in that particular category or what would best fit you. And yeah, I think y'all should check it out. I'll link it up here somewhere and or down in the description box down below. Yeah, so that's one thing I would recommend if you're transitioning or moving. That would be one thing, to go and meet people and interact. And another thing I mentioned is to challenge yourself. Make a goal to reach out to others and befriend them. I know that's something I'm not that good at. It's like I'm kind of shy and introverted, so it takes me a little while to kind of warm up. But then it's funny because there's some people where you automatically like connect with and you can just be yourself. So I mean, it varies, but sometimes you gotta challenge yourself. Walk up to someone, say hello. Just try to get out of your comfort zone. Another thing I've learned is to be careful about befriending co-workers. To me, I feel like the older that a co-worker is, the better. Like I feel like the younger ones, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think overall, like, just realize that everyone is for themselves. They're out for themselves. At the end of the day, when things get down to the nitty-gritty, if it comes to a time where it's like, if people are really fighting for their job, their position, they're not your friends, and no one's really going to be looking out for you. So be careful about being friends with coworkers. I mean, that's just how I feel personally. I mean, I know everyone has different experiences, but I just be careful about befriending co-workers. So another thing, tips for moving away and how to adjust, right? So another thing would be to keep in mind is that your family is a call, a FaceTime, a Skype call away. You can call them as needed, which is every day to some, and for others it might not be as much. Know that they'll usually be your greatest supporters. So when you feel alone or lonely or feel like you just can't do this by yourself, call them, because most of them have been in your same position. So when you can call them, you can get that encouragement from them to just keeping on. Another thing that's big for me is spirituality. Well, I can't tell anyone what they should believe. I will say that I believe that there is a God, and I believe his name is Jehovah, and you know, those are just my spiritual beliefs. But also too, I just find that finding like a group of spiritual brothers and sisters helped me in many ways. Like whenever I would move to a new location, or just go and do an internship, for instance, for like the whole summer, like I will always find a congregation of my spiritual brothers and sisters, and they were like my greatest support, and it was nice. So if y'all are spiritual, or I mean, there may be some that don't believe in God, but I do. But if you do, then always have like that spiritual support in your corner. Like for me, they're like my family away from home. And so a lot of people always just like, how can you just get up and go and just move anywhere or travel anywhere? And for me, I'm just like, I kind of know that I'm going to have like that spiritual support wherever I go. That's just what worked for me. And then also too, just keeping it a matter of praying, praying for strength to endure and courage to speak to people and to meet people. Like when you pray for that, and sometimes even when you pray for someone just to come into your life, or finding good friends, wholesome association, like you'll be surprised that he'll answer your prayers, and you'll meet people, and you'll even meet someone that you never thought you would meet, and they're just like you, and y'all just like click. And you know, there's like people that you can relate to, you know. So another thing would be to go out and enjoy yourself. You know, scout the area and ask people questions about the area, and you'll be surprised by what a question will lead you, and you may even make a friend along the way. Like if you decide, hey, I want to go visit this place that I've heard of in this location, and you might meet someone that's alone there as well, and you can make a friend, and you know, you'll learn more about the area, and you know, these people that you meet can even help you to adjust to the new location that you're in. Another thing would be, try not to let fear hold you back. You know, conquer your fears, or else fear will conquer you. And I read that from like, okay, I hate to say this, but it was like a fortune cookie. But I just felt like it was a good quote, because I was like, oh, that's so true. That's something I definitely have to work on. But yeah, the more you hesitate about moving, the more you'll prolong the process, and you'll end up staying. And I can say this because I'm going through that right now. The more you fear, it'll just make the process more stressful if you're getting ready to move. So just, you know, take that leap of faith and just go for it. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you know, scout the area that you move into first prior to you moving. That way you can kind of get like a feel of it, and search online for places to do for fun there. You can interact with the residents there to find out about their living experience in the area, and find out which spots are more safe than others. I mean, of course, not everywhere is safe. I mean, let's be real, you really aren't safe anywhere, but there are locations that tend to be safer than others, you know what I mean? Also, if you're moving for work, speak to the boss or a coworker about things to do and their experience. Prior to me moving here, I spoke to one of the people on my team here. Prior to me moving, they just gave me like a lot of advice on like the area and things to do, and it was very like encouraging, and kind of made me feel like warm and fuzzy in a sense, because I felt like they were being helpful and, you know, caring at the same time, because, you know, I came in as a college hire, so it's just like this young female leaving her family and coming all the way over here. So that was really, really nice. So I would definitely consult with your boss or any one of your coworkers on your team prior to moving, or even when you move, and just have them give you suggestions. You'll just be surprised how open some people are. Also, to realize that you're not really alone. Granted, you may probably get lonely from time to time. I know I do a lot. But just know too that there's plenty of people that are in your boat. And adulting, or I don't know, I feel like I'm using that word too much, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Adulting is an adventure, and it's a time to learn and a time to make mistakes and to learn from your mistakes and to grow into yourself. And it's also a time to just truly envelop who you are. And then one last thing is, one of my friends, she recommended that if moving, especially if you have your own place, and I have my own place for instance, you know, sometimes it's easier to just sell your furniture and get new furniture in your new location. That way it just makes the moving process a lot smoother and cheaper as well. It just reduces the cost of moving, and it gives you a fresh start. Now I know this isn't applicable to everyone, but it's just an idea. I know moving can be very scary at times, but you just won't know until you go. So just make good use of it and enjoy the ride. So I hope this was useful and helpful in some kind of way. I'll see y'all in another ToNaturAli Talks.